Hello everyone, welcome to this video on the Doctrine of Eclipse, an important legal doctrine under Article 13 Clause 1 of the Indian Constitution. It deals with the status of pre-constitutional laws that conflict with fundamental rights. Let's dive into this concept in detail. The Doctrine of Eclipse is found under Article 13 Clause 1 of the Indian Constitution. It mainly applies to pre-constitutional laws, meaning laws that existed before the Constitution came into effect in 1950. If these laws are found to be inconsistent with fundamental rights, they are not completely abolished but rather become dormant or inoperative until the inconsistency is removed. The Doctrine of Eclipse states that a law which was valid when enacted can later become unenforceable if it conflicts with the fundamental rights. However, such a law is not dead, it remains in a dormant state. If a constitutional amendment later removes the inconsistency, the law automatically becomes valid again. Article 13 of the Constitution ensures that no law can violate fundamental rights. Article 13, Clause 1 states that pre-constitutional laws that are inconsistent with fundamental rights are void to the extent of the inconsistency. This means such laws are not repealed, but they cannot be enforced unless the inconsistency is removed. For a law to be covered under the Doctrine of Eclipse, the following conditions must be met. It must be a pre-constitutional law. It must be in conflict with fundamental rights. It does not become a dead law but remains inoperative. If a constitutional amendment fixes the inconsistency, the law automatically becomes valid. A major limitation of the Doctrine of Eclipse is that it applies only to the pre-constitutional laws under Article 13 Clause 1. Post-constitutional laws, those enacted after 1950, are governed by Article 13 Clause 2, which prohibits the state from making laws that violate fundamental rights. Unlike pre-constitutional laws, post-constitutional laws that conflict with fundamental rights are void from the very beginning, void ab initio. Let's look at some important cases related to the Doctrine of Eclipse. In Deep Chand vs. State of UP 1959, the Supreme Court ruled that post-constitutional laws violating fundamental rights are completely null and void from the very beginning. In State of Gujarat vs. Ambika Mills 1962, the Supreme Court modified its view and stated that not all post-constitutional laws are void ab initio, they may still have limited applicability. The Doctrine of Eclipse is significant because it protects legislative intent, preventing unnecessary repeal of laws. It allows laws to be revived automatically if the inconsistency is removed. It ensures that fundamental rights remain supreme by making unconstitutional laws inoperative. The Doctrine of Eclipse ensures that fundamental rights remain protected while also preserving the ability to revive old laws if their inconsistency is later removed. However, it applies only to pre-constitutional laws and does not affect laws enacted after the Constitution came into effect. That's all for today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to stay updated with more legal insights. See you in the next video.